Thank you, man.
This is Reverend Harris. We are here at El Paso and Blackstone. We have the police officers right now circling us. Look like they're going to let traffic come through now. A word was sent out. The helicopter, the sheriff helicopter is now out circling us right now. There was a lot of energy out here today. I'm pretty sure right now. You see the cars coming back into the intersection. We have came out and made a statement today. Whose streets, our street, no justice, no peace. You see the people here gathering, talking, exchanging information. Right now, folks across the country, it's very important right now that we understand right now, as Miss Jolene Bishop is here right in front of me from Grandmother's Love. Right now in Fresno, we have unarmed black and brown people who's being shot all over the country. We have white police officers right now executing young black men right now all over the country. And there's no accountability at all for what is going on. You see the helicopter right now up there. You see the helicopter flying around right now. Word was out that the Fresno Police Department is getting ready to send in backup to arrest all of the protesters that are here today. You see the cops are still driving up and down the sidewalk over there. This is our constitutional amendment. No one got hurt today. We're very structured organizers that is here. I'm pretty sure that our Chief Dyer may not be happy about what has happened today, because we know that North Fresno is the side of town that oppressed Southwest Fresno. We also know that North Fresno has a bigger voting block base. The tales of two cities, the haves and the haves not. And so we came up here to make a statement today that Black lives matter, brown lives matter, and I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some backlash and repercussion about what we did today. But you know what? We're standing for our black babies and we're standing for our brown babies. And if the chief of police and the mayor and the city council and the board of supervisors feel that they need to come and arrest me and put a warrant out for my arrest or plaster me all over TV, then you need to do what you got to do, because I have a black son right now that I'm going to stand for him, and he's out here right now understanding what his daddy is doing right now, standing for him, standing for the next generation, and that he see courage in his father. He see his father right now standing for him and the next generation all over the country right now. Because Michael Brown could have been my son, Michael Brown could have been your son, Michael Brown could have been your nephew, your grandson, or whatever, what have you. But right now, we're in Fresno taking accountability right now. And this was a peaceful demonstration. No one got hurt at all. And I'm pretty sure we had a lot of honks, and I'm pretty sure there was a lot of opposition. And for those who are in opposition, I'm just sad to say that they're uneducated about what is going on here. What is going on here in America. We pay these police officers salaries. We pay the mayor's salary. We pay the city council. Matter of fact, the city council in Fresno get $80,000 a year just to sit on the council and don't do a goddamn thing. And so we just right now saying that we're tired of being sick and tired. We're standing up for justice right now in Mississippi, Fresno. That's right, I said Mississippi, Fresno. And no one is scared of this government, because you have assassinated all of our black leaders in the past. You assassinated the Black Panther Party. You assassinated all of those who stood up, Dr. King, Malcolm X. And you know what? You're dealing with a new generation right now that's not scared of you. You're dealing with a new generation right now that's going to speak truth to power. And you know what? I'm here to stay. I'm not going nowhere. If you think that you can kill me, I will always live in the minds and the hearts of the people, because they see me out here today standing for justice, standing for equality, standing for peace right now. And you know what? No justice, no peace. Whose streets? Our streets. And all lives matter. All lives. Black lives, white lives, yellow lives. So there's no need for the police right now to be sitting on the corners right now as if we're some terrorist group right now. We have no guns over here. We have no ammunition over here. You the one got the guns sitting over there on your bikes right now. You the one got the tasers right now over there ready to come and hurt and harm us right now. And so, you got to do what you got to do, because you're dealing with a generation right now that's not going to back down. This is Reverend Harris. We broadcasting out of Mississippi, Fresno, California. No justice, no peace out here. Real talk with the #1 doctors that Dr. Gene Kennedy and Reverend Harris. Dr. Kennedy out of Atlanta, Georgia, and Reverend Harris out of Mississippi, Fresno. And we have a TV show that we do also called Rev Talk, keeping it straight, keeping it real. And we just happy to be out here. And sister, can I get an interview with you, sister? What was your thoughts today, sister?
I think it went really, really well. You know, we weren't received by the community well, but we got the message out there. Our message is very, very strong, you know, to, you know, stop with the ending police brutality and holding them accountable for their actions.
Why do you feel that North Fresno would not receive black and brown people? And there were some white folk, brothers and sisters. Why would they not? Why was we not received up north?
I think because it's not an issue that affects them, you know. It's not a lot of, in their community, they probably don't see a lot of black and brown people as a whole, you know, so it doesn't really affect them. It's something that, you know, that's foreign to them, you know, so it's a new concept. So when they see us out here protesting and we're anti-police brutality, they think that we're anti-police, and we're not. We just are anti-police brutality, and we want them to be accountable for their actions like how we would be accountable for our actions. We're not anti-police, we're anti-police brutality.
So it seems like there's this philosophy that shoot first, ask questions later. I mean, when I look at Eric Gardner, who was choked to death, he had no weapon. Just here in the San Joaquin Valley, we had the Torres brother down in Madera, California, who was handcuffed, placed in the back of the police car, and the lady officer pulled her taser, but she pulled her Glock and shot him through the heart. And he's handcuffed in the back of a police car. And the district attorney of Madera County found a law in California and said that it was an accident. How do you accidentally murder and lit someone that's already helpless, handcuffed, and there was no accountability for that lady police officer in Madera, California? And you know what? That's the type of stuff that we're talking about. And that lady officer is still working today on the force after she done murdered somebody. And it seemed like to me that somebody, a civil rights attorney or some type of civil rights organization, will find out what law did that district attorney find not to hold that police not accountable, but to hold her accountable. What is your thoughts about that?
I think that, you know, I mean, again, you know, the powers that be, you know, they come up with all of these loopholes and tricks and dips, you know, so we need to equip ourselves, even us as protesters. We need to get us the best civil rights attorneys that, you know, we can. John Burris, he's a good one out of Oakland. You know, we need to hook up with people who really, really know the law. Because if you have a mediocre person who knows the law and they are coming up with, you know, top of the line, you're gonna lose every time. You know, I mean, from my perspective, you know, me seeing a person that's already apprehended and they're handcuffed, why would you ever shoot them? They pose no threat. You know, they're already subdued, so you don't need to kill them. What's the point? You know, I mean, let's call a spade here. You know, if you're really out here just hunting down black and brown lives, say that. You know, don't come up with no legal jargon BS. You know, and I think that we need to really, really be protected. You know, I mean, all folks, white folks, black folks, purple folks, all folks need to really, really get down with this, because it can happen to anybody. It's not just black people, it can happen to white folks too. You know, it's
But since you brought that up about black and white, we don't see black police officers shooting white people 10, 20, 30, and 40 times. Why is it that we see white officers shooting blacks 10, 20, and 30, and 40 times? Why do you think that?
I think that, I mean, you know, racism still is racism in America is like apple pie. You know, racism, I mean, apple pie and football and racism is, you know, it's ingrained in our society, so much so that people don't realize it when they see it. You know, they don't know what to call it. They just think, oh, well, he might have been, you know, they come up with all these justifications. But if we really, really look at it, I mean, the country was founded on racism. So some of these people's mothers and fathers are still alive. So those behaviors and thoughts have been passed down for generations and generations, and we need to recognize that, all of us. You know, so when we do see a young black male, you know, get shot down 55 times, you know, we need to call a spade a spade. You know, they see a black male and they want him dead. But
you know, sister, I want to ask you two more questions. I see white males go hunting for deer, bear, whatever.
Yeah.
That's an animal.
Yeah.
They only shoot one time to kill an animal. But when it comes to a black and brown life, they're shooting 5, 10, 15, 20, and 30 times black and brown men. So it seems like an animal will have more precedence of life than a black and brown person.
Of course. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Look at the Mike Vick case. He got more time than any police has ever got for, you know, killing any black, brown, or anybody else. You know, so that lets you know everything that you know. That lets you know that a dog's life is worth more than a black life. I mean, you know, you can't cut it any way else. You know, Michael Vick they shunned him, you know, publicly humiliated him for fighting those dogs. So that means that people care more about dogs and animals than they do about black people. Black people are still, a lot of people still see us on the property. You know, so a lot of people still see us like, you know, like cows and cattle, and you know, like it's a property, but it's free now, but you know, like a wild cow or a wild horse, you know, so you're gonna have to shoot it 50 times. You know, they see you as a superhuman, a magical being that's just wow.
So it seems to me that the policing of, again, this is Reverend Harris from Mississippi, Fresno, civil rights leader, National Network in Action, also assistant pastor, New Light Church of God. It seems that white police officers, just by their behavior, do not like black and brown men because of how many shots that they take. Why do it take 30 and 40 shots to kill? Or why do it take a chokehold to kill someone who's already can't breathe? I mean, I think, first of all, that we have to understand that policing came from slavery. It came from the plantation owner who, over 400 years ago, that when the slaves ran away, that they went after them. And so through the course of life and history, the white man has been able to create a system that benefited him. So the United States Constitution, if I may say, was not, we as black people was not at the table to make the Constitution.
And we wasn't included.
And when you make a Constitution that made it illegal for black people to read, and when you make a Constitution with Jim Crow laws and all, etc., this is what we stand with today. So I think that the resistance of black and brown and white and all of us coming together is sending a statement all across the country. Now, we do know that the chief of police in Fresno is a Christian man, as he say, and I don't question his Christianity. But at the same time, I have an issue when we do not drug test police officers who pull the trigger. I mean, you can't even pull out in front of a stop sign and don't get manslaughter. So when someone has the power to use a gun to shoot and kill someone, why is that we're not concerned about to make sure that officer was in their right mind? I mean, why is there's no legislation from Congress, not from the state level, not from the local level, but from a national level? This is why the International Human Rights Court is getting involved right now, because they're seeing how America, who's supposed to be the land of the free and home of the brave, you're over here slaughtering black people and brown people. What are your thoughts about that?
I think that this, you know, I mean, Congress and the police and all of the rest of them, they're in bed together, you know, so I mean, it's easier for them to, you know, put the victim, you know, of the police brutality on trial. You know, just like how they did with Trayvon Martin. You know, like they were talking about how he had weed in his system. Okay, what about the, like you said, like what about the police officer? What did he have in his system? Was he drunk? You know, had he been on prescription meds? Was he suffering depression? You know, like I mean, not the police officer, but Andrew Zimmerman or whatever. You know, like why didn't we go into his background?
Right.
Like why do you guys always dig deep into the victim's background, but never the victor? You know, like the person who's actually committing the crime. Let's put them really on trial. Let's see his background. You know, let's look through, you know, all of what he's been through and his mental health and everything like that. But I think that if they start doing that, then we'll start asking questions about Congress. Then we'll start asking about everybody else. So they don't want to do that. They want to keep it, they need a reason and a justification to do what they're doing. You see, they need a reason. They have to have a reason. You know, like they always come up with the, oh, he had a gun. I mean, and that's another thing that bothers me, you know, because what I've been hearing a lot is, oh, he was unarmed. Okay, I understand that too, but we have a right to bear arms. I mean, it's licenses for firearms. Why can't we have guns? You know, like, why is it so scary when a person of color has a gun? Like, I understand, you know, like letting people know, oh, they didn't have a gun, but even if he did have a gun and it was registered, why do we have to keep on continuously saying, oh, he was unarmed? Like, we say that like having a firearm is illegal.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because here in Fresno, our police
What's illegal about having a firearm?
Our police evidence department was broken into. Guns, money, and dope was stolen out of there. Until today, they have not found the guns, dope, and money that was stolen out of there.
Who stolen that damn
Where are those guns?
Where got them?
Where? I mean, will they put black on? Let me ask you this question because I know someone is waiting on to talk to me. Watch out so the people can come by. Why is that you're from the Bay Area? I want to talk to you. Why is there not more black preachers and pastors involved in this issue with police brutality? Do you feel that they're getting paid off? We have not really seen any. My church, New Life Church of God, has been really the leading force out here because we're independent. We don't get subsidized, we don't get crumbs, nor do we get any money from the state. We're independent.
Yeah.
Why do you feel that there's not more pastors involved?
Honestly, I think it's a number of things. I think that, I mean, first of all, you know, I mean, if you are getting subsidized from the government, then you can't speak on certain issues. And another thing, I mean, that kind of goes against the scripture. You know, the scripture tells you to turn the other cheek, you know, forgive your neighbor, you know, I mean, he slapped you, forgive him, pray for him, and keep it in motion. You know, I mean, and that's not really humanistic or realistic, but a lot of people, you know, especially I feel, you know, church people, they go off of that. They try to take that really seriously. Oh, better days is gonna come, let's just pray about it. Oh, it's gonna get better, let's just pray and sing Negro spirituals. You know, oh, let's just shuck and jive and pray that, you know, the sky open up and we get a blessing. I mean, none of those blessings ever came from slavery, so I don't know
what's interesting, my sister, is every year when Dr. King's birthday comes, you see all these preachers in the streets marching, singing Kumbaya, and we shall overcome. Mm-hmm. But King was a person of action. He wasn't I mean, he came outside the pulpit. He could have pastored his father's church, but he came outside, right, to be with the people. Why is it that our pastors are not and our ministers are not out here, I'm talking about in Fresno, marching with us today peacefully? No one did anything illegal today. He's, oh, well, they did a traffic because they didn't have a permit. Well, you know what? You always talk about, you know, we need a passport to go back to Africa, but we didn't need one to come to America. But we need a passport to go back home. I mean, all these double standards right now seem to keep us in control.
Yeah.
Right. And it's sad that
people pick and choose what they want.
Right.
You know, people pick and choose, and I mean, a lot of them, I can't speak for every church, but a lot of them control the masses. Okay. And, you know, people can take that however they want to take it, but that's just my thought, because I mean, if you have a stage, and if your stage is to say, if Sister Jenkins come to you and tell you her son just got shot in the street, and you tell her to pray about it, and it's gonna be okay, and you know, her day shall come and we shall overcome, and blah 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 blah, but keep on paying them tithes, that's controlling a person, because you're controlling them not to get out there in the streets and protest what they really need to protest and let their voice be heard. You're silencing them by telling them to pray about it and just to let it ride and turn the other cheek. You know, people pick and choose parts of the Bible, people pick and choose Dr. King's speech. You know, like, they don't pick and choose the economic development, but they pick and choose the, you know, be good and just keep it in motion and keep on praying and keep on paying them tithes, you know, but they don't pick the, we need to stand up for our rights. We need to really get out in these streets. You know, people pick and choose what they want. And a lot of these pastors pick and choose what they want out of the Bible. They pick and choose for their sermons, the messages that they send to the masses, and everything else. A spade is a spade. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it funky and call it spade a spade.
Well, thank you, my sister, for coming out today. You came to West Fresno when I organized a march in West Fresno. You came to Southeast, and you know, and it's one thing that I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you go. I'm a preacher. I can go all day and night. The black woman was very, very important during the civil rights movement. She's very important to the movement, and that's one of the things that I see now here on the West Coast. We don't see many black women like yourself, the queens that give life to the black man. And so when I see you out here, I see you as a Rosa, I see you as yourself, first of all, but I see you with the